At times, remaining quiet is the strongest way to reply. Society today often pushes us to constantly talk, clarify, and respond. However, history's wisest thinkers realized that real power frequently comes from understanding when not to speak. Sometimes words cause more damage than benefit. Speaking might just increase negativity, undermine your standing, or sap your strength. If you really desire command over your feelings, connections, and existence, learning the skill of silence is essential. In this presentation, I will explain 6 scenarios where holding your tongue is the optimal course of action. If your goal is to build solid self-assurance, emotional strength, and the capacity to earn respect without uttering a syllable, stay tuned. Let's get started. First, when you feel angry. Anger is a feeling that pressures you into an instant response. It obscures your thinking, leading you to utter things you wouldn't typically say. Your muscles tighten, your tone elevates, and suddenly you've said remarks you cannot retract. But the reality is this: words spoken out of anger often lead to regret. The harm done by an impulsive outburst can linger far longer than the feeling itself. A Stoic recognizes anger as a challenge. Rather than responding immediately, inhale deeply. Count to 10. If things get too intense, step away from the situation. Only speak once your feelings are managed. Your capacity to remain quiet while anger demonstrates genuine self-control. Others will perceive you as composed, self-disciplined, and collected. Crucially, you avoid needing to fix the problems caused by things said when emotions ran high. Quietness is not feeble. It signals internal fortitude. Second, when other people are spreading gossip. Gossip acts like a snare. It presents itself as innocent talk, but it's far from innocent. The instant you join in, you're involved. Sooner or later, you will become the subject of their talk when you are absent. A Stoic understands that narrow minds focus on people, whereas broad minds explore concepts. By participating in gossip, you bring yourself down to a conversational level that adds nothing worthwhile to your existence. The ideal reply is quietness. If people are talking badly about another person, just avoid taking part. You are not required to protect anyone, nor do you need to add your own comments. Simply remain silent, or even better, shift the topic. As time passes, others will see that you stand apart. They will hold you in higher regard and place greater trust in you. This happens because if you refrain from speaking ill of others, they realize you are unlikely to speak ill of them. Gossip resembles a flame, and your remarks are its kindling. The less you add, the quicker it extinguishes. Third, when facing unjust criticism. Not every critique holds the same value. Some feedback is helpful. It assists your development, enhancement, and understanding from a different viewpoint. However, other critiques aim solely to diminish you. They stem from envy, self-doubt, or the intent to elicit a response. When somebody criticizes you without justification, your initial urge may be self-defense, explanation, or debate. Yet this frequently causes more problems than it solves. The greater your reaction, the more influence you hand over. A Stoic realizes that quietness can be the most effective reply. If someone targets you unfairly, remain silent. Allow them to tire themselves out. Lacking your response, their comments forfeit influence. In time, the reality will become clear. The people who count will distinguish between useful input and unfounded assaults. By staying quiet, you demonstrate that you rise above meaningless disagreements. You don't have to engage in every conflict, particularly those that offer no benefit to you. Fourth, when you lack anything significant to contribute. Many individuals are uncomfortable with quiet moments. They rush to fill conversational pauses with talk, even when that talk offers no real substance. However, a perceptive man understands that pointless chatter diminishes his impact. Talking merely for the sake of talking causes your words to lose significance eventually. If you continuously speak without a clear objective, people will cease to listen closely. A Stoic adheres to a straightforward principle. If your intended statement won't enhance the discussion, refrain from saying it. Instead, pay attention, watch carefully, and employ silence as an opportunity to consider your thoughts before expressing them. When you finally choose to talk, others will pay attention. Why? Because they understand that when you speak, there's a purpose behind it. Your statements will possess importance because they are infrequent, considered, and purposeful. In an environment saturated with chatter, quietness is what distinguishes you. Fifth, when an individual seeks conflict without cause. Certain people debate not to discover truth, but merely to achieve victory. They disregard logic, rationale, or equity. Their sole aim is to demonstrate your error, even resorting to distorting facts. Interacting with such individuals expends valuable time. Regardless of your statements, they will manage to warp your meaning, intensify the disagreement, or incite you. The most effective approach to prevail: say nothing, depart. Let them contend among themselves. A Stoic knows that not all conflicts merit engagement. Quietness thwarts those desiring to pull you into futile arguments. They anticipate a response, but its absence strips them of their leverage. Rather than squandering effort on disputes leading nowhere, reserve your comments for dialogues that hold genuine significance. Because a man engaging in arguments with foolish people ultimately mirrors them. Sixth, when your goal is to listen and learn. The majority of individuals don't truly listen. They simply await their chance to speak. Rather than taking in what is being communicated, they concentrate on their upcoming remarks. This explains why numerous discussions seem hollow and fruitless. A Stoic understands that attentive listening holds more power than talking. By keeping quiet and completely focusing on the individual before you, you acquire precious understanding. You notice finer points that escape others. You grasp viewpoints that others overlook. Listening involves more than just processing words. It requires observing vocal tone, physical gestures, and the unspoken elements. It means perceiving the entire situation, not merely the portion articulated verbally. The less you talk, the greater your learning. And the more knowledge you gain, the more impactful your statements become when you decide to voice them. If you desire respect, admiration, and recognition as genuinely perceptive, prioritize listening over speaking. In today's world, where seemingly everyone competes for attention, the capacity for quietness is an uncommon and potent ability. By maintaining silence in these 6 specific scenarios, you achieve command over your feelings, your public image, and your personal energy. You transform into an individual who avoids hasty reactions, conserves words, and refrains from participating in negativity. Therefore, on the next occasion, you sense the impulse to talk, pause, and consider. Is quietness the superior option? Tell me in the comments section. Have you experienced a time when keeping silent provided you with an advantage? Please share your perspective below. And if this presentation offered value, remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell to receive further Stoic wisdom. Develop the skill of silence, and you develop mastery over yourself.